and entertainment epicenter of New York City, to the sleeping and empty small cities and towns of upstate, which once bustled with manufacturing, mining, and farming. We all know from inspiration, history, and nature, we deserve a return to the success and growth of generations past, a birthright being squandered by corruption in Albany, and the depredations of an insecure, scheming mountebank posing as governor, who loathes both us and himself. As liberty beckoned to enslaved peoples behind the Iron Curtain via American broadcasts after World War II, we now say, believe, rise, and join us. Welcome to Radio Free New York.
All right, welcome to Radio Free New York. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for the day, and I am joined once again by my excellent and exciting co-host, Sean Phelan, Agent of Chaos. Sean, thanks for being on again.
Greetings and salutations.
Yeah, I was planning on having a guest today. We were going to mix up the schedule this week, but my guest canceled at the last minute because he was attending a video conference to learn about how he was able to operate in Phase 2.
That was the nicest way anybody's ever said that you're stuck with me.
Yeah, now I'm stuck with Sean. Thanks, jerk who canceled. No, I'm kidding. The guy who cancels is a good friend. He has a good reason for doing it. They're just trying to figure out what what he's going to be doing at the job. But
I think the mystery guest owes you a beer.
No, I'm sure he will soon, eventually. But that's all right. All is forgiven, and we're gonna get him on hopefully next week. But anyhow, speaking of which, I know he's supposed to be the guy who's supposed to be my guest is supposed to be attending a video conference today to learn about Phase 2 reopening. But that's the big question of the day, isn't it? Well, it's one of the big questions. Sean, there's so much going on right now. My goodness.
I kind of love it.
Love it? No, I do not love any bit of this. I would rather things be super boring and we're just free and we're like, oh my goodness, what do we do with all this freedom this weekend? Let's launch some totally legal fireworks and just enjoy our freedom and enjoy our businesses. And that's the world I want to live in and tend to our gardens in no matter where they are. That's the world I want to live in, an exciting world. I want to live in a boring world.
That's the goal. That's the utopia. But I like what's happening now because I've been saying for years that people have been being made to work so hard just to get by nowadays that they don't even have the ability to research and check out politics and get involved. But now everybody's had the time, everyone's not working, so people are now paying attention to what's going on in the world and what's happening in their communities. And I think it's kind of a bit of an awakening here, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, I think that the situation we're in is because people are home. It's a powder keg. I think that a lot of people are, they're on edge, and they're angry, and they're upset, and we're gonna talk about what's going on in Minnesota today. We're gonna talk about some social media stuff today too, what's going on with Trump's executive order, and I do want to talk about the Phase 2 thing. This is, after all, Radio Free New York. I want to talk about some New York issues, and again. As I started to say before, I totally blew up my own segue. I just got off on a tangent. It's fine. It's Friday, guys. It's what it is.
It's Fake News Fridays.
It is Fake News Friday. I don't even know if we'll get to the fake news. There's so much to talk about. There's so much real stuff to talk about.
That's true.
I don't know when we're gonna get to it, but we'll see. We'll see how we are by the fourth segment. But yeah, today was supposed to be. Everyone thought today was supposed to be the beginning of Phase 2. We thought that today was supposed to be the day that things like hair salons and barbershops and bakeries and a whole bunch of other stuff was supposed to start opening today. And a lot of businesses, because they were under that impression, had bought supplies, sometimes supplies that expire, to reopen today. And yet, we're right now waiting for the governor to tell us, do we get to operate? If it pleases the crown, may I please open my business again? There are people who want to get back to work. There are people who want to get their businesses back open. They have spent weeks planning on how to open up safely. We have seen, we saw yesterday news conferences in Onondaga County, in Oneida County, and other places saying, okay, we're planning on opening Friday, great. And they didn't get told until yesterday evening that that wasn't happening. And what Governor Cuomo said, he said, oh, it may not be happening. We're going to take the data that we learned and have international experts like evaluate the data and maybe we'll open. Are you kidding me? This is, I'm so angry at it. Like, and again, I'm frustrated for my friends who are business owners who are so excited to open up today, and now they're like, "Shoot, what do I do? Do I just open? Do I risk getting hit by law enforcement because I'm not open, or because I'm opening, or do I continue to stay closed and not make a living?" What
Well,
do you do?
if you're down in Elmira and you're in Chemung County, you are going to go into phase two today, regardless of what Cuomo says.
What was it, Chris Moss down there who said that? The
Yep.
county executive down that way?
I also saw where the sheriff said something about not enforcement.
Yeah. That is what a few counties are starting to do. They're starting to say, you know what, we're just going to open. We planned on reopening. We came up with plans to reopen safely. The infection levels are well below what was required for these phases. Things haven't gotten worse in phase one. We are going to open.
And isn't that? I'm sorry. Isn't that as just like as libertarian as it gets? It's everything we've been talking about for years. It's doing what's best at the county and the town level, and stop allowing the state to tell us what to do.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's exactly that's what Larry talked about during his campaign. Let counties be counties. I mean, to me, I'm like, let individuals be individuals and businesses be businesses. I think you should get down to that level. But again, we were promised a regional data-based approach to reopening. We thought that we were sort of getting that, and then now they're pulling the rug out from under people. Again, I'm hearing from other people in Oneida County saying something similar, but Ryan says, nothing to protect their state licenses. And so that's what the issue is, right? So if you're the type of business who has a state license, if you reopen in defiance of the state, you risk losing your ability to operate legally. And that's the problem.
But wouldn't that actually lead into more of what we've been talking about occupational licensing? And people would be like, hey, look, you took my license? Too bad. I didn't do anything wrong. I just opened my business. That's all I did. I'm going to continue doing it. I'll pay whatever fines or whatever you think you're going to try to levy on me. But I'm going to fight you in court about occupational licensing now.
Sean, so just so you know something about a lot of small business owners, they don't have a ton of money to pay for lawyers to challenge the state. And that's the thing. Again, I feel bad for these business owners because they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They need to make money to make a living. They need to open up to make a living. But if they open up, it's going to be tough to know if they're going to be able to fight it. It all depends on if those laws get enforced and if they're able to fight it in court. Because again, the state is able to seize as much money as it wants from us to go fight these business owners and make sure that they stay closed if they defy the state orders. The business owner doesn't have those unlimited resources. Hopefully, the community would come together to support the business owners that do that,
right?
That open up, operate safely, and just offer a valuable service to the community. But we don't know that will happen. And if you're a business owner, you're like, are my friends going to rally around to me?
Go fund me.
And if I were a business owner in that position, I don't know that I would do it. It's tough. And I'm not. My point is not to make an excuse for what the state is doing. It's to say that if I understand why business owners aren't opening up, because they're waiting for they don't want to be crushed by the state.
See, Samantha V, she says it right here that on the Facebook thing. People that support small businesses should make donations toward helping the fight the crown.
They should. Again,
they should, and I think that people would.
I'd hope so. I think like if you're a business owner, I'd love to hear from you. If you're a business owner and you're planning on opening up today and you want to participate in this discussion, give us a call. You can call the WYSL station 585-346-3000. That's 585-346-3000. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. What's going on today? Like if you were planning on opening today and now suddenly you can't, what do you do? What's going through your mind right now? Give us a call.
we're going to break.
We'll talk about this more in the next segment. Thanks again for joining us here on Radio Free New York. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
College Assistance Plus has worked with thousands of families, saving them millions of dollars. It can be stressful choosing the right college, but we're here to help. CA Plus will guide you from college visits to college graduation and through every step in between. Each student and family situation is different, and we work to accommodate those specific needs. Call today for a free family meeting, 585-582-1846, or visit collegeassistanceplus.com for more information. College is expensive. College Assistance Plus can help.
A reminder from Lake Monroe County. American bikers aim toward education. Distracted driving is dangerous. So pull over and eat. Don't try to read your mail and newspaper and stay off your cell phone. Make a mental note to be more alert, making it a habit to expect the unexpected. Remember to look twice, save a life, train yourself to watch for motorcycles which are harder to see. Join a bait and your family will be protected with a free $4,000 accident policy. Ride safe, ride free, ride often. A bait. If you ride with us. Google update.
When Bexini goes
Why
with
do
me,
businesses
that
choose
means
to
my
move their
network does too.
website from Wix
Ask
and
your doctor if
Squarespace
Bexini
to
is right
Simple
for
Tech
you.
Innovations?
Bexini.
Maybe it's their
How strong
excellent
is your
customer
network?
service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Because
You're
I'm on
listening to
insulin,
Radio
I
Free
need to
New
be
York.
prepared for a low blood sugar emergency. And so do my family,
All right,
friends,
welcome
and
back
coworkers. You know, my
to
network.
Radio Free New York.
That's why
Thank
I
you so
carry
much for joining
Bexini.
us today.
It's
We're
different from
live
other
here on
low blood sugar
WYSL
emergency
from
treatments
noon
because
to
it's
1.
given as
And
a
again,
pump
if
in
you
the
want to
nose.
participate in the
It can be
conversation,
used
we'd
even
love
if
to hear
I'm
from you, especially
unconscious
if you're a
because
small
it does
business
not need
owner
to be
who is
inhaled.
planning on
To
opening
give
today.
Bexini,
Are
they
you
put it in
opening
my
today?
nose
Are
and
you
push
not?
firmly on the plunger
What are you
until the
doing?
green line
Give us a call,
disappears. It's simple to
585-346-3000.
use and
That's
simple to explain. So I know my network is ready if I need them.
Also,
Here
shout out
and here
to our friends over at
and here.
WNY the Patriot.
Bexini treats very
out
low
in,
blood sugar.
Chemung
Do
County,
not
Elmira
use if you are
Corning,
allergic to
and
Bexini,
they're one of
or
the
if you
ones
have a
who
tumor in your adrenal gland,
response to their
as can
kind
cause
they
high
say they're
blood
opening.
pressure,
So
or
we'll
in your
see.
pancreas,
Last
as
I
can
heard
cause low
anyway. We'll
blood
see
sugar.
if they stick to
Get
that. And
medical
also,
help right away if you have a
WACK
serious
as well,
allergic
out in
reaction.
Newark
Common side effects are
County.
nausea,
Thank you so much,
vomiting,
everyone, for
headache,
listening.
discomfort in your nose,
Thank you.
eyes, or throat.
When Bexini goes
WNY
with
and
me,
WACK
that means my network
Sure,
does too.
Radio Free New York.
Ask your doctor if Bexini is
So
right
we're
for
talking
you.
about phase 2 stuff.
Bexini.
You know, we're
How
getting a lot
strong
of
is
great
your
discussions
network?
here for the people who are listening online as well. You know, so, Ryan says hair salons are doing everything they can to comply, and it seems to be engineered as possible to satisfy what the state wants. And then Thomas asks, you know, so if a barbershop loses its license, what stops you from going there anyway? Well, again, to me, I'm not. I would go to a barbershop that's unlicensed. That doesn't really bother me. It's more like, can you have a storefront? Can you participate in, are you able to Yeah, they don't want to operate in their kitchens. They'd rather operate out in the open. Sean, you have any thoughts on that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think like places like take Caverly's for a second. It's a small little bar, and I know they have a little bit of an outdoor seating area. I can't see why you couldn't open the bar, let your people order the drink. They go outside, and they sit outside, and they have their drink. I don't see a problem with this.
Yeah, never mind. Here they're going to be able to open now. Bob Duffy, the guy who's the
with curbside pickup at PetSmart, you can get all your pet essentials right when you need them. Just order online,
that,
drive up, check in, and pick up without contact.
Hey, Kevin, I hate to interrupt you here, but I think we're having some audio issues.
Yeah, no, I mean we're getting some stuff online, so I don't know if something like that is happening.
The music's so loud, apparently.
I don't know if I opened up a tab. I might have opened up another tab. There's audio from another tab. So for those of you listening online, I apologize. I was fact checking the news source there. So thank you guys for letting me know online. Anyhow, so
that's loyal fans plan.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So anyhow, with the Phase 2 reopening, I think it seems like it's perfectly safe for businesses who are outdoor, who have the capacity to operate outdoor, for restaurants who are able to space tables further than 6 feet apart, to be able to open up safely. I think, in evidence is suggesting right now that the virus doesn't survive very long in an outdoor space. That doesn't last in the sunlight, that doesn't last very long on surfaces. So my goodness, why can't we just open up restaurants? Why can't we do that? All right, so I believe we have a caller on the line. Steve from Dansville. Steve, welcome to Radio Free New York.
Yes, hello. You was talking about licensing barbershops being licensed. Well, I've been going to the barbershop back in the 60s and 70s, and those barbers told me that years ago they never had to have a license.
Exactly. I mean, people have been cutting hair for all of human history. We didn't used to require licenses for that sort of thing. Are you against licenses then, Steve?
I think you don't have to have them if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to barbers, it's pretty simple. It's
let the man talk.
People don't. I'm saying people don't go like saying, "Hey, is this guy licensed or is this not licensed?" They say, "Is he a good barber or is he a bad one?"
Yes.
That's the stamp of approval.
I also heard from my next door neighbor that Wyoming County is opening up. Is that right?
I'll have to fact check that one, although apparently I'm creating audio issues when I do that, but that would be good to know if Wyoming County is also opening up.
We are getting a report that Yates County is opening up.
Yeah, so it sounds like several counties.
See, I got to visit a barbershop pretty soon. And, and I heard that Perry is opening up.
Well, there it is. And again, barbershops are going to set different standards too for how they want to open up safely, to keep themselves safe, to keep their customers safe, etc. And I think individuals should be able to get to decide, do barbershops meet the standards of safety that they're looking for? Again, we can figure this out. People are generally pretty smart. We don't need to wait for Governor Cuomo to tell us what to do and whether or not it's safe.
We don't need permission from the Crown.
Well, that's all I had to say on that subject. However, I just got one more fast thing to say. Back in the 70s, business owners never really worried about what the state told them because it was the 70s was a different time. The Vietnam War was going on, and we didn't have much respect for authority anyways, way back then. And business owners back in the 70s just went on doing what they did and didn't worry about what the state said.
Love it. Well, Steve, thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for the call. I really appreciate you calling in today. And, it's right. I mean, like, should business owners just defy it? I suspect that back in the 70s, a lot of that business licensing just didn't exist, so it wasn't a worry. The reason city governments and the reason that state governments create licensing is so they can control you. That's what it is. It's not really about keeping consumers safer. It's mostly about if they want you to do something, they have a cudgel to hang over you to say, if you don't do this thing that we're telling you to do, we're going to take away your ability to legally operate. And if you do that, again, it becomes much, much harder to operate in a black market. That's what licensing is for. Let's not pretend it's about safety. Yeah,
sounds more like extortion to me.
Yep, it does sound like it. It does sound like extortion. But again, thank you so much, Steve from Dansville, for that call. And I don't know. Again, we're at a strange time right now. I do have to look up whether or not Wyoming County is opening and Yates County is opening. We'll look that up over the break. And yeah, I don't know what I would do if I were a business owner who is in a position today to open or not open again. I think that you can open safely.
I think that, like, especially businesses that are seasonal. For example, like up on the Lake Ontario, you have a small bar called Marge's in Irondequoit. I've never been, but I heard it's nice. But that's a very limited time that person can do business. And, I mean, let's face it, they're serving drinks on a beach. I mean, how much more open and spaced out do you want to be?
Yeah, keep people 6 feet apart. I mean, listen, bars are tough. Bars are tough right now because, like, a lot of the reason bars are able to make a profit is by packing people in there and getting a lot of people to order drinks at once. And it's going to be hard. But I think, like, there's breweries near my house too where they have plenty of outdoor seating, and you should be able to go and order your beer and sit outdoors and drink your beer. And you can be 6, 10, 12 feet apart from other people, and you're going to be fine. Again, these are relatively safe activities. And if places want to require, like, okay, if you're going to go into the bar, you got to put your face mask on or whatever, to me, that's fine. Again, like, if that's what they want to do, their private business, that's what they think that they need to do to keep their employees safer and to keep their customers safer, whatever. Again, I'd rather have that than have that shut down altogether.
Right. Samantha V., she reinforces what I was saying earlier. You go to a doctor because they're a good doctor, licensed or not. It's exactly what you do. Like with a barber, you ask, is he good? You ask your friend, hey, is that doctor any good? You don't ask about their credentials. You ask for their license. You ask, are they a good doctor? Are they a good barber? Things like that.
What happens now is people just assume if they're allowed to operate legally as a doctor, they must be good. They must be good enough. And that's all that people substitute licensing for an indicator of quality. And it's not necessarily the same thing. And I think that's a culture that needs to change. Just because a government has put their stamp of approval on something does not necessarily mean that it's good. They could be. They could be fine. And I think, definitely doctors need to get certified, go to medical school and that type of stuff. Like, there needs to be some sort of certification that tells me of their quality for me to go to them. But maybe we need to loosen that up a bit. I don't know. We'll see. Well, thank you again for listening to Radio Free New York. We will be back in a couple minutes. Talk to you soon.
twice the power.
WYSL.
More powerful FM 92.1, FM 95.5 West, and 1040 AM WYSL Avon Rochester.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. Showers and thunderstorms will taper off and we'll have clearing skies late into the upper 50s on Saturday. We'll see partly sunny skies, a much cooler day, temps in the 60s. On Sunday, we're looking at some sunshine, but very cool for this time of the year. Morning lows in the 40s, afternoon highs in the low 60s. I'm Rich Canilia on WYSL.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Hi, Bob Savage here, hoping you're safe and well and that your business or business plans are persevering during the COVID shutdown. We at the WYSL stations have some good news for business owners and managers. As the virus abates, you want your business name, image, and message to be top of mind for consumers with pent-up demand. That's why we're offering free advertising. Actually, 2 months worth of free advertising. Also, free basic copywriting and creative as well. No hidden charges. We're doing this to help new businesses and businesses which were completely shut down by government order to get established and back on their feet. After those 2 months, once your cash flow and operations are stable, you're off and running, you're on an inexpensive paid schedule for a few months, but that's only after your free schedule. WYSL accepts all major credit cards, and we have easy terms for qualified advertisers. Get ready for the great reopen. Get the word out about your business on the powerful, affordable voice of liberty, WYSL, and get your free 2 months of advertising. Call 346-3000 today.
At Victor Chevrolet, we want you to know we are here for your transportation needs. Our factory-trained specialist in the Victor Service Department can expertly handle any repair. Our concierge service can arrange for pickup and delivery of your vehicle if you choose. We are here for repairs, maintenance, inspections, warranty work, and recalls. Victor Chevrolet can help no matter where you bought your car or truck. And if you need a new vehicle, Victor can sell you a car virtually on our website, victorchevrolet.com, or by appointment at our store. Call 869-6196. Trade-ins, financing, leasing. They're all available remotely and at your convenience. We're here to fully serve Chevy customers in Victor, Canandaigua, Macedon, Fairport, and throughout the Metro and Finger Lakes. Depend on Victor Chevrolet, here for you with sales or any service issue, no matter where you bought your vehicle. Give us a call at 869-6196 or visit victorchevrolet.com. You can depend on the team at Victor Chevy for all your transportation needs, now and in the future.
Eyes on Rochester is a full-service ophthalmology office, and we specialize in general ophthalmology, taking care of people from childhood to adult and seniors. We do general eye exams. We specialize in cataract surgery, corneal surgery, and disease, as well as LASIK surgery. We also have a full-service optical shop and contact lens fitting service.
Visit Eyes on Rochester at 1157 Fairport Road.
Are you 65 or older, new to Medicare? At Polano & Company, we take the stress out of Medicare. We guide you through the enrollment process and help you navigate the A, B, C's, and D's of Medicare. Our goal is to make it easy and simple, knowing you have a plan that will cover your medical needs. Call 385-6010 or stop by Polano & Company at 15 Schoen Place in Pittsford today. PolanoCO.com.
I want to cook you the best cheeseburger ever, in your life, ever. I'm Riley from Tom Walls. Fresh ground steak, 2 slices of cheese. We don't cut corners. Tom Walls.
Tom Walls is open for takeout. Avon Gun and Hunting Supply reminds you to keep safe. Avon Gun is open for sales and repairs by appointment only. Call 226-8277. That's 226-8277. Avon Gun, East Main Street, next to the Bank of Castile.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
All right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. Thanks again for joining us, everyone, today. We've been talking about the Phase 2 stuff, but we're gonna shift a little bit because, John, there's so much happening. So much happening today. So let's see. We got two directions that we could go. We could talk about Donald Trump's executive order. Maybe we'll talk about that because I think that's gonna segue into what I want to talk about in the last segment a little bit. But Donald Trump has issued an executive order ostensibly to protect free speech in the First Amendment, but the reason why he issued this executive order was to prevent Twitter from putting fact checks on his tweets. Should the government be issuing an executive order to prevent the fact check of statements made by politicians?
That's a huge, huge jump out of bounds as far as I'm concerned. I mean, every citizen's responsibility is to fact check the government, especially the president.
But here's the crux of the argument. So I'll make the argument of the people in favor of this type of executive order. People like statist Josh Hawley out in Missouri.
I'm glad you added statist.
Statist. I mean, it's all the statist party. Josh Hawley, statist party. Elizabeth Warren. All these people. They love this type of stuff. But basically, right now there's a law. It's called Section 230 that says that content platforms like Twitter and Facebook aren't putting out editorial content. That they are just neutral platforms to have discussions, right? So they are exempted from the liability of certain things that people put out on their platform, right? Because they're not necessarily in control of the stuff that people say on there. The argument from people like Josh Hawley is that because Twitter is adding a fact check to Donald Trump's tweets, they have jumped over into editorial content, that they are now subject to a different level of liability and a different level of control because they are then saying that they're inserting their own editorial opinion into that process. So what the executive order would do is essentially, again, change how platforms like Facebook and Twitter are defined to give them less ability as private companies to regulate some of the content that is on their platform. So that is my good faith attempt at giving the argument that Senator Hawley and President Trump are making. What do you think of that?
I think it's horrific. I think it's horrible. I think it's so bad. I lack the words. When you start telling independent businesses what they can and cannot produce and put out there publicly, that becomes a problem, especially when you're totally smothering the First Amendment at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, I can understand like a business, producing a harmful chemical or something, and that has to be, that has to be stopped, But words. I mean, it's like the kids' expression: "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." Where did that go?
Yeah,
and on the opposite side,
I was going to say, can I make the argument that the Democrats are making? It's a very similar argument to what this is, and they're saying that, well, platforms like Facebook and Twitter allow lies to go out, and therefore the government needs to take more control in these situations and force these platforms to crack down on misinformation here, so that they, don't spread harmful lies.
But didn't Facebook just do this? They just cracked down on all the Russian bots and stuff that was putting out the fake memes. So I think it gives integrity.
Yeah, I mean, and again, these are private companies. They can do what they want. And so there's, to me, my position on this is, again, these are private companies. They can do what they want. If you don't like what they're doing, I don't want to entrench these companies as permanent parts of our political discourse. They don't need to be. If you don't like it, go move to another platform. You know, but again, have those debates, have those discussions. If Twitter wants to do things like fact check the president, that doesn't stifle his speech. His speech is still out there. It just says, hey, what he said here was wrong. And I don't care. You can ignore that fact check if you want. All they're doing is arming you with more information. They're not actually shutting down the message.
Right. But the thing is if you're going to apply this to Facebook, why haven't you applied it to Fox News and CNN?
Yeah. That's a good point. And we're getting some comments online, you know, what if the fact checker hates you and anything you say, the person is false and deletes it? They're in control of their narrative, can become a big problem. Again, you know, I understand that. I get that. But again, Facebook's a private company. Twitter's a private company. They can do what they want. They are not permanent parts of our free speech infrastructure. You have the ability to go and do something else. They are private organizations. And I think having the government regulate those companies is far more dangerous than whatever they're doing, because again, they're not permanent. MySpace wasn't permanent.
I think there'd be some oversight too if one of the fact checkers just went nuts and said, you know, oh, I'm going to support all, you know, Nazi beliefs or something, you know, and just crush all the others. You know, I think this oversight would catch that and they'd have a word with him or her.
Yeah. And, you know, I also want to read a comment from Greg. It says, if you're going to fact-check Trump, how about doing it to Cuomo, Adam Schiff, and a few other politicians? Yeah, sure. I mean, like, I do wish that Andrew Cuomo got fact-checked a little bit, too. Again, I'm not sure that I think that it's a good idea for Twitter to jump in and fact-check these things. Like, that's kind of a different argument. Because what I think is going to happen is people are going to assume that there's a bias involved. And then you have to wonder, like, again, is this creating a situation where it ends up reinforcing that lie more because so few people trust Twitter, so few people trust Facebook? I think when they do that thing, when they end up shutting down content, and there's actually been a study of this, Facebook stopped pulling as much content because they found that when stuff got reinforced, a lot of people started thinking, oh, it must be true because these big companies are trying to hide it from the people. It ended up reinforcing that fake news even more.
Right. People will react to what they want to hear. And when they hear something they want to hear, then they'll promote it as if it's a fact. And that's troublesome. As a former teacher, I'm always about keeping things factual and then let the person decide whether they want to accept that or not as a fact. But as long as you can provide evidence and proof of your position that this is why this is a fact, then that's it. It's up to the other person whether they wish to deny the fact or not. And I see on Facebook here this Robin Wilson. That's an interesting name. Sounds familiar. It says so. No fact checker will no fact checker will let people argue it and prove point. Share resources for an argument. Kind of in that way. You promote the facts. You say, here it is. Now you decide.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think that people just need to become savvy in understanding facts, understanding arguments, and you need to figure that on your own. It's going to be a culture change. And I think you and I talked about, we had a whole episode about this a few months ago, I think, where we were talking about, like, should Facebook be fact-checking stuff. And I think we both kind of concluded, like, okay, you know, understandable, but probably not. Again, we people don't trust Facebook for a lot of the reasons that we talked about. That there's no trust there. It's going to end up making things worse, and they're going to end up being biased in what they fact check too. If Facebook and Twitter like try to be the arbiters of news, I think it's going to make regulation like this more inevitable. That there's going to be greater calls for it because they are further stepping into that process. I think they should remain neutral and stay out of it. And I don't like this executive order. I don't want the government stepping into this one bit. All right, so we'll be back with the next segment We'll probably decide over the break if we're going to do fake news or not. I don't know. We'll see. All right.
We got to do fake news.
Got to do fake news. All right. We'll be back here on Radio Free New York in just a few minutes. Thank you again for listening.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Aircraft Environmental Systems proudly supports Radio Free New York. Rochester-based leaders in climate simulation chambers for America's R&D laboratories. We're experts in troubleshooting, calibrations, custom designs, and consulting for more than 40 years. Industry pioneers, we created the first ever fleet of temperature, humidity, and altitude test chambers available to rent coast to coast. Trained and trusted by environmental chamber manufacturers, we are ACES. Find us at acesinc.com.
It's time to reopen Livingston County. We're a group of citizens advocating an immediate end to so-called pause orders, threatening the livelihoods of local business owners and free choice for consumers. We believe all businesses are essential and all workers are essential workers. We urge everyone to support your local small business and small business owners to open back up immediately. Permanent economic losses are far more dangerous than the hyped COVID scare. Reopen Livingston, a group of your concerned neighbors and citizens proud of our freedoms and our Constitution.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Radio Free New York.
Okay, welcome back to Radio Free New York. It is Fake News Friday. I'm your host, Kevin Wilson, joined by Sean Phelan, Agent of Chaos. First fake news item.
That's you, man.
That is me. First fake news item.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes. Did President Donald Trump threaten to shoot American people in a tweet in the last 24 hours? Real news or fake news?
I happen to know the answer to this. He kind of did.
Kind of did.
Yeah.
That is.
Once the looting starts, the shooting starts, or something.
That is mostly real news. So I have the full tweet. He was talking about the stuff going on out in Minnesota, and he said, and I quote, "These thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd, and I won't let that happen. Just spoke to Governor Tim Walz and told him that the military is with him all the way. Any difficulty, and we will assume control. But when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Thank you." That is the tweet. So that's now the president actually did say that. And interestingly enough, related to our last topic, Twitter put a warning over it and said This tweet violated Twitter rules about glorifying violence. However, Twitter has determined that it may be in the public's interest for the tweet to remain accessible, and you can click to view it. So, yeah, I mean, Twitter did kind of put a thing, because Twitter has a funny thing where if you're a politician, you don't get your content removed, you don't get your account taken off. They just put these little warnings on it, and then they just say, oh, this is a content warning.
Boy, even a double standard for them too, huh?
Yeah, no, that's kind of it. So, so in this thing, I have a lot of respect for patriotic gun owners of all different races and backgrounds too, who are protecting small businesses in the protests going on in Minnesota. And you'll see people out there who they'll have, rifles, and they'll say, we support the protests, we support the people out here, but we don't want anyone destroying our businesses. and so, again, I could support that type of thing, and I could support defending yourselves here. But I think what President Trump is inviting is we don't want to start with the premise that we're going to shoot people. That's the type of tragedy that ends up in history books. People don't remember Kent State as a successful National Guard action. People remember Kent State as a massacre. And Sean, I can hear it's raining a bit where you are.
Yeah, I just had to run over and shut a window. It's pouring.
Yeah, no, it sounds like that thunderstorm is hitting you good. But that's all right. We continue the discussion. Now, what we're talking about again is I don't want our president, I think, is profoundly unpresidential to threaten to shoot people, even the people who are lawbreakers. That's not what we want to do. That's not what we do in a free and lawful country. We don't threaten to shoot people. Again, if you're a private business owner and you're wanting to protect your business, I get it. I'm with you. I'm on your side. Do what you have to do to protect your business. Don't shoot indiscriminately. But protect yourself. We don't want a situation where people are again shooting people and acting as judge, jury, and executioner, and I sure as heck don't want it done under the cover of the American flag. And again, just a reminder too that Trump can't really use the actual U.S. military to do this, but National Guard troops can be called in this situation.
Right, but it is still got that smattering of hate speech that he was using during his campaign, where he was saying stuff like, oh, take that protester and punch him in the head, or, and telling the police, when you put him in the car, make sure you bang his head. It's like, wait, what? No, stop. No. You're the president. Stop talking like this.
Yeah. What I would hope our president does is he calls for calm, he calls for law and order, and he calls for justice. He says, yes, okay, we need to stop this. We need to make sure that, and I think he actually has come out and said, that the FBI is going to be investigating the situation with the police killing of George Floyd, and that's great. Again, I think that what would be better is if he said, this is a government that you can trust. This is a government that is making sure that when injustice happens, that the people who murder people in your community, or who kill people in your community, when police break the trust of your community, that they're going to be held accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just again, there are times when I think President Trump partially got it right, and then he put his own foot in his mouth with this type of thing, and I don't know why he needs to do that type of thing. It's very frustrating.
He has this habit of trying to portray a tough guy when he's never been one, and it's kind of really awkward.
Being the guy who orders National Guard soldiers to shoot people doesn't make you a tough guy. It makes you a tyrant.
Yeah.
No, that's not what we do. Again, if it ever comes to that, that is a failure of government. That isn't government being successful.
Not at all. Not at all. Famous man, I think it was Lou Holtz, the former coach of Notre Dame, said life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you choose to react to it. And I think that's something Donald Trump needs to learn.
Yeah. So anyway, Mr. President, do better. Don't just stop. Come on, you have an opportunity to be a great leader for all of our country here, and I think this is a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So we got other fake news.
We have Florida man.
Florida man, what you got for us?
A judge in Florida has issued a public statement begging lawyers to get properly dressed for Zoom conference court hearings.
Yeah, no, that's real. I saw that.
And Zoom, Zoom is the video conference program. Yeah, that he actually did. I guess some lawyers were showing up half dressed or maybe no pants on or whatever. I don't know.
So here's the trick. You can get away with no pants. I've done several interviews this week where I'm wearing like a button-up shirt and like a jacket, and then I'm wearing like gym shorts underneath because that part's not filmed, and that's fine. It's like 100 degrees in my room, and I'm cranking up the fan between breaks. But no, you shirt, top, very important. You gotta look at. But apparently there's because I saw this a while ago. There's some lawyers who are showing up in like t-shirts, and they're showing up like. Sometimes they would forget their cameras on. It seemed like they're in pajamas, or I don't know, or they'd be in bed. No, come on, you gotta have it together, like just a tiny bit, just a little bit. Have it together.
Imagine showing up to a court case, and your lawyer is on camera, sitting up in bed, on his laptop.
Yeah.
No.
No, that's like I mean, maybe you could do your job that way, but come on, like you want your lawyer to look like they're put together. If I saw my lawyer doing that, I'd be upset. All right, I got one quick fake news item for you.
Go.
Are priests using squirt guns to give blessings to maintain social distancing?
It's brilliant. I say it's true.
Yeah, no, there's a great photo that I found a couple weeks ago from a Detroit priest. He has a nice bright green squirt gun, and there's people driving up in their cars, and he's spraying holy water at them. So, yeah, and I'll share that link.
Oh, what's the company that used to make the water guns? Not Nerf.
Like the Super Soaker type of guns.
Yeah. Those things. I bless you in the name of Hasbro.
Just do that. I mean, you do what you gotta do, right? That's whatever works. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Social distancing, as long as it works, fine. All right. Well, all right. So, man, we still didn't even get to a lot of the news today. We're about out of time. But I think maybe sometime next week, I'm sure Andrew will be going over some of the stuff coming out of Minnesota, and we'll see if it's still going on, what the aftermath is. I don't know. I again, as you kind of indicated, these are exciting times. I would rather not live in exciting times. I want us to be boring and free. That's what I want. But thanks again for joining us here on Radio Free New York. I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe weekend. Take care.